Hi guys, my name is Trevor. I'm a quality engineer here at Exyn Technologies, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use our post-processing app. So post-processing is Exyn's way of cleaning up our raw point cloud data. We do this in order to reduce drift and doubling and improve accuracy. You can add color or do any sort of georeferencing or ground control. It also ends by being able to export your data into a format that fits your needs or workflow best. Let's dive into post-processing. So you're going to see the tablet here, and over on the left, you should see several Exyn icons. We're going to go ahead and click the one that says post-processing. One thing you'll notice right away is that this app looks very similar to our normal ExynView app. The one thing to note that's quite different is that the list of logs here are the logs that are already downloaded onto the tablet, not what exists on the robot. In order to post-process, you're going to need to take the log off of the robot and download it onto the tablet. I'm now going to go ahead and open up a log that I've already downloaded here by using this menu in the top right corner. You're going to want to click Process Capture. It's looking for .ex files in Exlog. Click here, and I have a good example that uses georeferencing that I'm going to go ahead and open up for you guys. The first option up at the top is asking whether or not you'd like to use any GPS measurements. If your scan has those, feel free to go ahead and check this box. My example does not, so I'm going to keep this unchecked for now. In fact, ExynView won't let me click on this option if I have no GNSS measurements. Up next, we have a few cloud improvement options. First being, if you want to remove non-static points, that can be anything moving in your capture, such as people, vehicles, equipment. You have the option to remove those, or also to change the amount of time related to what is considered a moving point. The final setting here is used to filter out any close points with a range setting. Here you can set the distance of points you'd like to keep. This is especially useful in something like a driving scan when the Nexys might be mounted to the front of a car. You're going to want to be able to filter out the car from the scan itself. For colorization, you have the option to do full color, fast color with a downsample, as well as change the resolution limit. We highly recommend that you leave the resolution limit at its default value, as lowering it can greatly increase processing times, and raising it has the potential to make your color more blurry. This georeferencing example that I've picked does not have color, so this box is going to remain grayed out. I'm going to go ahead and start processing. Right away, you'll see that the processing begins with a progress bar that lets you know how post-processing is going. Now we can see that the progress bar has gone away, and we're all set to look at our post-processed cloud. The first thing that I'm going to do here is go ahead and make our extracted cloud visible. So by clicking on that, right away our scan is going to open up, and you can see here it's a great clean scan of the inside of a mine. With the finished cloud, you've got a few visualization options here, so you can go and click on the settings wheel. And right here you'll see that there's options to show intensities or show colors with the caveat of them being available or not. You also have the ability to downsample the visualized cloud. You know, if the scan is really, really large and scrolling around is slow on the tablet, you're able to downsample it here. And this last option is to filter out uncolorized points. So I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this intensities box, and you should see the cloud change. If we show it again, here's our just normal point cloud, no intensities. So it looks very similar, just missing that intensity data from before. Okay, I've gone ahead and grabbed another Exlog for you guys to process. With this one, it's got GNSS measurements, so we're going to keep those. And this time I'm also going to show you a colorized scan. So I'm going to go ahead and check this box. Keep it on full colorization. Just take note of this warning here. If you plan on running any GCP anchoring, do not colorize the scan first, just like the warning says. You can always go back and colorize it after. So again, if you're going to do any GCP anchoring, do not colorize it ahead of time. Do the GCP first and then colorize it after. So I'm going to do full colorization. I'll downsample because I can, and then keep the resolution limit in. Again, note with downsampling, if you downsample for speed, just to get the data processed faster, you're always able to view the unsampled cloud later on. So I'm going to go ahead and begin processing. Okay, now that's finished processing. I'm going to go ahead and open up the extracted cloud for you guys. You can see right here, it's a great scan of a warehouse. Again, opening up with the intensity cloud first. It's nice, great scan of a warehouse with a lot of the blues for less intensive, and you can see the orange and the reds and the yellows indicating more reflective. If I go to the settings here, you can see that I have intensity shown. So again, if that was unchecked, you'd just be seeing the normal point cloud. I also have the colored point cloud available this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this menu and go and visualize the colorized one. You know right away that both point clouds are now on top of one another. So I'm gonna go ahead and hide the intensity cloud just to give you the colorized one. And there we go. Hide the menu there, and here's a great scan, great colorized scan of the warehouse. A lot of full detail. So let's say you don't have time necessarily to colorize your point cloud data right away. You just want to look at the normal point cloud, but you still want color, you just don't have time for all that processing to happen right now. That's okay. You're able to colorize after the fact, and to show you guys an example here, I'm just going to go ahead and process that same scan, this time leaving the colorization box unchecked. So I'm going to go ahead and start processing this. Okay, our scan is finished processing. It's the exact same scan as before, but you'll notice now we don't have an option to show the colorized cloud at the bottom. And that's because we didn't colorize the data. So go ahead and open up the extracted cloud. Let's see here again, our scan showing the intensities. If I want, I could visualize just the normal point cloud, but again, no colorized data. And what you'll notice is right here, up above in the export/additional processing section is a button to colorize cloud. And a menu will pop up. Those are the same options as you had at the start of processing. Get full colorization, fast, which is a bit faster with not quite as much density, and an option to change the resolution limits. A session is a kind of saved state of post-processing that you are able to come back to and view things that are both finished and processed, as well as do any more additional processing such as colorization or georeferencing after the fact, after you already have that initial point cloud. So again, let's say you really want to see the data you just captured. You want to see it quick, but you don't have time to colorize it, or maybe you don't have time to put it in a global frame or your survey frame. That's okay. You can process what you have and then come back and open the session and finish it up later. Opening the session is also used to just visualize everything or maybe export it in a different format once you've already completed all the processing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this open session button. And what you'll notice right away are a bunch of folders, a lot of times with the same log, followed by the letter V and a number. So what that means is it's the date that the processing was done right here, as well as the Exlog name. So for example, 2026-02-02-01 with a timestamp. That's the name of the Exlog. And then this is V0. So this is the first attempt or the zero attempt of processing this log. So anytime you try to process a log with the same settings on the same log, same time, it's going to go up to something like V1. So you'll notice here with these two, we have the exact same files processed on the same date, presumably done with the same settings or maybe even different settings, and there'll be two different versions right up here. So that's what the V at the end is used for. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our most recent processing. The way that these folder file structures work, within the folder, the session itself comes in a YAML file. So everything is going to look like post-pipeline state.yaml. If I go back, let's see, I open up this one. That one didn't finish, so it's missing the YAML file, but any one that did finish, you open that up, it's going to have a post-pipeline state.yaml. We'll go back to our recent attempt at colorization, and we will click on that. And after that's opening, you can see here again, we have the extracted cloud, and now we're going to colorize it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and colorize this data. Click the colorize button. And for this one, I'm going to do full colorization. I'm going to keep downsampling checked, and I'm going to keep the resolution limit at the default like we recommend. Okay, that's all finished up. And now we have our colorized cloud. So same one I showed you guys previously, but just demonstrating that, again, you don't have to do all of the processing in one go. You can do it in steps. You can get the first initial processing done of the cloud just to see the cleaned up point cloud itself, and then go back and do any georeferencing, survey alignment, as well as any colorization you'd like after the fact. We're going to go over anything related to georeferencing, GCP anchoring, putting your scan into the global frame or your survey frame, all in a different video, a more comprehensive breakdown of georeferencing. So for now, to finish up this quick start processing guide, I'm going to show you guys the export options. So Exyn post-processing gives you a number of different ways you can export your data. You can see that I already did it one way here, but to show you guys and demonstrate our capabilities, I'm going to go ahead and click this export button again. Let's go through these options. Starting at the top, we just have a few common filtering options. So you can filter out any points that are either too close or too far away from your sensor, and you're able to change that distance. You can also filter out intensities. So if you want to filter out the really highly reflective points in your data, you're able to do that by changing these maximum and minimum values. So maybe you want only the reflective things, maybe you want only the non-reflective things. Here's where you're able to filter out by intensity. If you're working with colorized data and you don't want any points that do not have any color, here's where you would filter those out. This next section is used to remove any outlier points. So we define an outlier point as kind of a spurious return, something that might reflect off of the LiDAR or water vapor or another body of water. These outliers will be removed based on these search radius settings down below. So if a point does not have the specified minimum number of neighboring points within the search radius, it'll be discarded as an outlier. Down here, we have another option to downsample. So if you have a very large point cloud and you don't need that level of density, here's where you could downsample it further. Coming back up at the top here, you have the option to export any images that the cameras have taken. So the way we colorize our data here is by taking pictures very, very rapidly and applying the color of those pictures to the point cloud. So if you want the images themselves, you have a couple different options for how those images get exported in this section. Next, we have a few different options to export your data and its reference frame. So our default is the SLAM frame, but if you have georeferencing done, you're able to put your data in the survey frame down here. You can also, if you have the GPS data, you put that in the global frame. Finally, if you have an existing project that you're trying to tie this data into, you can change the CRS frame here at the bottom. The last sections here deal with how you'd like the units and the format of your exported data. So you're able to change the units to be in meters, feet, or survey feet. And Exyn allows you to export your data in 4 different formats: PLY, LAS, E57, or XYZ. Once you've selected the settings you'd like, you can go hit OK, and a window should pop up asking where you want to save this point cloud. You can see here from the examples that have already been processed what that format looks like on the default. So it's going to be the date and time of the log, followed by the unit and the file type. So meters, LAS. This one is feet, LAS. Keep in mind, you don't have to keep the name like this. You can go in here and rename the file to be whatever you'd like it, and you could also save it into whatever folder you want or external drive you want on the tablet. Okay, that wraps up our introduction to post-processing with ExynView. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next lesson.